Welcome to another Versus video. I am BBD, joined by...
Chris.
Hey, Chris. Joined by Chris from Target. Yeah? You got Chris from Target right here.
Pretty much.
And
I worked at Target before.
Did you?
Yeah.
Man, you could have become a meme.
I could have.
You could have become E-famous.
Except it would have just been this sweaty guy unloading trucks in the back.
Yeah, you know.
Chris from Target.
Different groups, different crowds, different things, whatever. We're going to be battling today with some Fate Reforged cards in our decks, so hopefully you'll watch that and see some sweet action with that. But before we do, we are going to be doing some morph game to determine, which of us will be able to be on the play.
Who will manifest their own destiny?
Ooh. Yeah, let me put all 5 of these cards on top of my deck and then cast.
And then manifest them?
Yeah, manifest them. Alright, I gotta shuffle these up so that he can't level me. And then we'll see if we can get him to pick the BBD token. That's the only way he can lose. Alright.
Alright, we got a game.
Alright. Oh, wow.
2/3?
So he's got 2/3. Hold on. Now I feel like I have to, gotta move them around a bit. I don't even know where they are, so this is just for show. But, alright, come on. Pick the BBD token. Oh, wow, the triple morph win. That's the first.
I will go first. This is me.
This is you?
Yeah.
No, it's me.
I got it wrong.
All right, well, that is the first time the triple morph has actually won one of these.
It is. That's pretty, I'll go first.
Pretty exciting stuff there, so.
All right. Well, this hand isn't the best hand I've ever seen, but we have lands and spells, and some of the lands even scry, so I'm going to keep it.
Yeah, I feel the same way about this hand. It's a little unwieldy, but, we got some action, so let's go ahead and keep it.
All right, we're going to scry. And I was told to never bottom this card ever when playing this deck, so I won't do that. Go ahead.
All right, well, that card has not been bottomed. And this is probably the best card we could have possibly drawn with this hand. So.
Or carry it.
And we're going to bottom this because we don't need this card at all right now, so you're up.
Alright, so we're going to scry again. And we don't need this card, so we'll go on the bottom. Good.
Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and file. No, this was actually a really good draw as well. This is probably one of the best cards against him. I'm going to Thoughtseize you. Alright, well, I'm going to go to 18. I'm actually going to end this turn at 15 points of life because...
Are you going to do... Are we just taking these 2 cards?
Yeah, I don't want him to be able to cast either of these cards, so we're going to actually double Thoughtseize him and take those 2 cards.
Oh, man, I hope I draw a Ravel Master or a Mentor off the top.
I really hope you don't. You're up.
I'll take it in Ascendancy would be good here, too.
Yeah, really just anything would be good.
That's not that bad, actually.
Is it a Soulfire Grandmaster?
No. Go ahead.
Alright, well, for me, I really want to cast this fantastic gentleman on the next turn of the game.
Old Dr. Rhinoceros.
So I'm going to go ahead and play a Scryland instead of casting this. And let's see what we have here. And I think I want to keep this on top just in case he draws some creature that wrecks my face. So you're up.
I don't think we can just fire off the burn spells yet. And it's your turn.
Alright.
We're not looking like we're doing very well against the Siege right now here.
Yeah, well, that is what the doctor ordered, so I'll be at 18, you're at 17. You're up.
It's amazing how good that card is in conjunction with Thoughtseize.
It is quite good.
Right, well, I think I do want to use this one here, because it's basically worthless against him anyways. So I'll strike you.
15. Also feels like Treasure Cruise, potentially, and that's exactly what you're doing. Yep.
Yep.
Alright. Cruise away.
Your turn.
Alright, so here, let's see. Here I want to just go ahead and fire this card off and see where that takes us. So,
read them bones.
Yeah, let's go ahead and read some bones here. It'll drop me down to 13. Alright, well, I definitely want this card. And I have to decide if I want this card. So he's gonna... I think that I actually do want this card. Just as a way to push through. No, I don't think I do. I don't think I want this card. Maybe I do actually. Yeah, I think I do want this card actually as a way to push through with my rhinos. So we'll go ahead and keep both of these cards. And I'll crash on in down to 13. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and play this since next turn I want to have access to do both of these. Your turn. Here's where the fun begins. Potentially.
So, I feel like if I play any creatures, they're just going to die. So I want to be able to try and get some sort of value out of them. But I think I just want to play this guy.
Mentor.
Yeah, I'll play a Mentor. And then I'll pass the turn. And if I had one more mana, I could do some pretty sweet stuff. But
Alright, well that was quite a powerful magic card that we just drew.
not surprised.
Shouldn't be. Alright, well I'm going to start things off by just trying to Bioblade the Monastery Mentor and force him to cast whatever spell he intends on casting.
Alright, well, I think that I'm just going to stoke you.
Alright, I dropped a 9.
And I'll get a monk token with prowess.
Okay, I'll go ahead and attack with Siege Rhino.
9.
9 all. Alright, and then I take 1 point of damage to cast a Siege Rhino. So I'm going to go 8 to 11, and you drop to 6. Your turn.
Soulfire Grandmaster. And you have 3 cards?
Yep.
Man. Double Thoughtseize is rough. Man, each turn I've just been like 1 mana short of doing some really awesome things. So I think that the only way I'm going to get back into this game is if I happen to hit a... another Treasure Cruise, I think. And I don't think I have any way to take care of these Siege Rhinos. Alright, so I think for starters we're just going to attack. Is this right? No. You're at 11.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure he just blocks if I attack. I think it's actually better if I just do this. I'll strike here. Trigger, I'll gain 3.
So you go to 9.
And I'll stoke here. Trigger, I'll gain 4.
You go to 13.
I'll attack you for 3.
And I go to 8.
Good.
It's a pretty good turn.
Yeah, I was like 1 mana off being able to just attack and strike with the buyback. But
So I'm at 8, you're 13. I don't think that there's anything he can draw that kills me next turn. So I think that what I want to do is just Hero's Downfall that thing, and then attack,
9.
and then scry. And we do not need another land, so I'll bottom it. Your turn.
Alright. We need a treasure cruise here. I'll attack.
No blocks.
Alright, well I didn't draw a treasure cruise. And that's not a treasure cruise. Go ahead.
Alright, I will Abzan Charm to give this thing 2 counters.
You have another rhino?
And then play another Rhino.
Alright, back for game 2. I'll get to be on the play again. Alright, well, we have some sweet cards and 3 proxies, but only 1 land. And 2 treasure cruise, so it's like I'm already on 5.
Alright, well I have 0 proxies, but these are all still sweet cards. I'm going to keep.
Alright, let's see if we can get a good 6. I've definitely seen worse.
That's what you always want to hear. It's like, well, it's 6 cards. I don't, yeah.
So this card is just, I think it's just actually bad in this matchup, so I'm going to bottom it.
Okay. Alright, this was a good draw for us. Go. This will help us curve out properly.
Alright, so I'm going to do this instead of this because we drew this, so I'll scry. And, I think that we want to top this. Go ahead.
Alright, so let's see what we draw here.
I top that so I have a play next turn in case he thought seizes me.
Alright, so if we had drawn a tap land, I would have played this. But since we didn't, I think I am locked into playing this. So that we actually have things to do on future turns, so. Yep.
Just play this in, so go ahead.
It's what I was hoping wouldn't happen, but I still think that we were better off just playing the Caryatid. And here I think we actually just still have to cast this. And say go. So unfortunately we haven't drawn any lands, which is hurting us, but.
So we know that he has a downfall on top, so playing this card just gets us nowhere. So I think we're better off just doing this and getting a loot out of it.
Sure.
So at this point I think this card is actually just bad, so we're just going to discard the monster inventory. There's the card that we left on top. So we had the Ascendancy, so the plan was to play this if he thought sees the Ascendancy.
Gotcha.
And you drew a downfall.
Yeah. I missed a land again.
I forgot to play my land. But yeah.
Sure. Well, here I think our line of play has to be a Thoughtseize.
Pick your poison.
Alright. 18. Well, I don't think that we're beating the card Treasure Cruise. I don't know if we're beating Double Raise the Alarm either, but we at least have like stuff like this that can maybe get there against Raise the Alarm. So I'll go ahead and take the Treasure Cruise. And I'll pass.
And a Stoke the Flames would be real good here.
It'd be real gross.
Would it?
Yep.
Okay, so here I actually don't think that this is a bad play, because we know he doesn't have a land in hand, and if he doesn't, yeah, so he'll have to decide on if he wants to use his downfall or just cast his Caryatid. The other option would be just to cast Erase the Alarm and loot and see what happens, which isn't that bad of an idea. We just need to try and draw into another Treasure Cruise, or Stoke the Flames even. I actually kind of feel like just getting this guy in play and then passing his... We're going to see what this guy can do.
Okay.
Damn it.
Alright. We hit the land, so I get to go to 19. We're going to hit another land next turn. I don't think I feel comfortable letting that thing live. So I'm going to go ahead and Hero's Downfall it. And then pass the
That
turn.
would have been just fine had you not hit a land. Oh, that's actually pretty good. So we know he doesn't have a Bio Blight, otherwise he would have just Bio Blighted my tokens on his end step.
Maybe I drew one last turn.
Maybe. Trigger.
Sure.
Oh, that's good.
Uh-oh.
2 triggers. This is a Treasure Cruise, I'm gonna be sad. Alright, it's not. So we've got 1, 2, 3, so they're 4s.
1, yep, they're 4s.
Alright, attack for 12.
Alright, that's 7.
Yeah, I can't do math. Good.
Alright, not sure how I possibly survive, but we'll try. So I'm going to draw this land that I know about and scry, and I think I have to bottom this because
I took a pain when I cast the Ascendancy too.
Okay.
19. I left the white up on purpose so I could play raise if I drew a land.
Alright, I'm going to bottom this because we need to be able to cast. This is our only way to win is to cast this next turn. So hopefully we survive to do that. I'll play a Rhino and go to 10. Go. Then you're at 16.
Yeah. So I think that this by itself is enough to kill you. Yeah. 6 and 10.
Yep.
We'll do it just to see how much I can pour on here. We'll stoke you with 1. With 2. It's even a different sleeve. Yeah, Route Master attack. It's 11.
Block.
This one? The goblin?
I'll block.
Alright, well, missed your land drops.
Alright, we are back with sideboarding. For myself, I want to bring in the Drown in Sorrows because they're probably the best card against him. They kill all of his creatures and all the tokens and things like that. I like Sorin a lot against this deck in post-board games because the games become grindier. And a lot of times it comes down to situations much like we saw game 1 where we're just kind of racing. It's like me with a Rhino, you versus some random tokens. And it's like who can kill the other person first. And Sorin wins like every race.
Yep.
And then a couple of glares, which are now even better against this deck than they were before, because they get Grandmaster, Monastery Mentor, Glare, and Seeker. They really get all
Ascendancy and Seeker.
Ascendancy and Seeker. They really get all the good cards.
Yep.
If I had 4 glares, I would bring on all 4, etc. So, for what I'm cutting, I don't like expensive spot removal against this deck. In fact, we saw exactly why in Game 2. I had 3 Heroes Downfalls in my hand, and I died to Hordling Outburst. Cards like Downfall and stuff just aren't good against Raise the Alarm or Outburst. Same with Abzan Charm, which is probably even worse than Downfall in that, not only can it, like, you can at least Downfall a token. It's not a great play, but you can at least do it. Like, you can't even Abzan Charm a token most of the time.
Yeah.
Or except at very specific times with Ascendancy. And then I'm siding out the 2 Cruxes because I'm going to rely on Drown in Sorrow's Wrath effect against him. And I don't want to blow up my own Rhinos and Coursers because that's how I intend on winning. So that's why. And I'm leaving in Read the Bones, which may seem really weird against a burn deck. But because we have so many cards like this, and cards like Courser, Rhino, and Sorin that gain us life, I think it's perfectly fine to keep Thoughtseize and Read the Bones in, because games sometimes get grindy, and those are actually some of the most powerful cards like in the matchup, is being able to find what we need and pull ahead on cards and not get buried by Treasure Cruise.
So as for myself, I'm cutting 3 Lightning Strikes since they just actually kill nothing in his deck, and 2 Soulfire Grandmasters. Most of the time against the Courser decks, I usually like to cut Rabblemaster, but I think the dynamic of the deck is a little bit different now that we have Soulfire or Monastery Mentor on the deck. So I'm going to keep the Rabblmasters in and see how that goes. Bringing in 3 Disdainful Strokes is going to counter a lot of the relevant cards in the matchup. Siege Rhino, Elspeth, Sorin, Ugin, those types of cards that are actually going to beat me. Wingmate Rock, since it's very good against the Courser decks, especially out of the sideboard of the token deck, because a lot of times, like you see, he's going to be cutting his downfalls and trying to rely on Drown in Sorrow. So Wingmate Rock just becomes much better. And then a Negate just as a way to actually combat Drown in Sorrow. So if I ever get to untap with tokens in play and can negate a Drown in Sorrow, it goes a long way towards actually winning the game.
Yeah, definitely.
So, let's see what happens.
Okay. All right, we are back for Game 3, and I get to elect to play or draw. Come on. Oh, come on, last card. Man, so close. If this was a Scry land, I would definitely keep this, but I can't, in good conscience, keep this, so I'm going to go ahead and mulligan. It's 1 land, double Sylvan Caryatid. We would have got there. Oh, well.
Well, this hand is one of those weird hands, but I think I'm going to keep it. It's a little bit of a loose keep, but we have some potential. I don't like this, but I think this hand is one of those hands that's like pretty good against Thoughtseize. So,
all right, 6 cards. Hopefully they're good.
Or not,
Yeah, or not. No, these are actually pretty good, so I'll definitely go ahead and keep this. And we're going to start by scrying. Yeah, we want this card, so that's exactly what we're looking for.
Oh, just exactly what I wanted to draw. Perfect card. Go ahead.
Well, I drew a Sylvan Caryatid, so that was the perfect one for me.
Go ahead.
All right. So here I am going to go ahead and jam this Courser Crucifix. Land. Yes. All right, I'll gain a life. Your turn. And the Read the Bones,
We
too.
will raise the alarm.
The alarm has been raised.
Just what I wanted. I feel like I have to keep this on top, so I will. And go ahead. I don't really want to attack my soldier into your Courser.
Alright.
Just everything's coming up Millhouse for you.
It is. Go to 22. Whew. Well, that's a delight. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize. See what CVM's working with over here. Alright, so, yeah. Yeah, we're taking that. So you have 3 Treasure Cruises, an Outburst, and a Mentor, and then we're playing this. I'm taking 1 to cast it. So I'll end up at 22 and you at 17 when it's all said and done. And I can safely send that dude in.
15.
You're up.
I mean, I don't think we want this card, but I don't really know what else we're doing here. Maybe I do have to bring in the Valorous Stances. There's a way to kill Rhino and Courser for only 2 mana. Knowing that he has a Drown on top, I'm just actually dead.
Yeah. Be impressed to see you pull out of this one.
Go ahead.
Did you take the 2 off Thought Seeds?
I should have. I think I'm at 22 right now.
No, you should be at 20. We forgot your Thoughtseize damage.
No, I think I did.
I have you 20, 21, 22. Oh, yeah, down to 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're at 22.
Yep. All right, draw the Drown. It's another Drown. Kind of want to read the Bones, but that's super greedy if we don't hit the land.
Well, I'm sure you will, don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're ahead enough on board right now where I can take that chance, so let's go ahead and cast a Read the Bones and scry 2. And I think I'm just going to bottom both. And then draw 2. Alright, so I drew these 2. We'll play the land, gain 1, but then pay 1 to Drown in Sorrow. And I'll scry that to the bottom of Drown in Sorrow. So I end up at 22, and I'll attack for 2.
13.
Go.
I'll outburst.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Alright, so we'll draw a Temple of Melody. I'll cast this Courser. I'll play this off the top and gain 2. 24. I'll play Sorin.
Yeah, I'm just dead.
Okay.
Not gonna waste any time here. All right, we're back for game 4.
Yep.
I will be on the play. And this hand's all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a lot of damage to myself with this hand, but I'm definitely keeping.
So I think that I want to start out with this scry here. And we'll keep this one on top. I'll pass.
Alright, well, I want to start out by going to 17, firing off Thoughtseize. Well, I want to take the Seeker of the Way, but I know that just taking the Outburst is just definitely the right call based on the way my hand looks, so I'm going to have to take the Hordeling Outburst here. You're up.
I'll fetch for an island and play that guy.
Sure. Draw. Alright, I have to take a point. And I'll cast a carry to someone at 16.
I'll take.
Well, I'm going to block. See if I get punished for it.
Nope.
Alright.
I'll scry.
Good.
And that goes to the bottom. Go ahead.
Draw. Okay.
And that block means he must have Drowning Sorrow. Yeah, I think he's fine trading his Caryatid to get me to race there so we can drown them all away.
I think that I want to just play this. So, play another Caryatid, play a Sandsub Citadel. And say go.
4 cards?
Mm-hmm.
I'll take.
Alright, this time I don't think I'm gonna block because if he stokes me, I don't really want that to happen. Well, maybe that's okay actually. I think he stokes me. I can just play this. So yeah, I actually. So what? Like I guess the worst case. I'm trying to think what the worst case is. I'll block.
I'll fetch.
Okay.
18. I'll stoke you.
Okay. So I'll be at 12, you'll be at 23, 21.
And then it's your turn.
Right, so that means I can definitely resolve this even through a through something like Disdainful Strokes. I felt that it was worth losing the carry tid. I do have to take 1 to cast it. So I'll be at 14 and you're at 20.
That was at 20.
You're at
So
18.
I'll go back down to 18.
Yep. Your turn.
So he didn't play a land, which means his hand is all awesome cards.
They're all cards, alright. I don't know if I'd say they're awesome.
Oh, I guess I didn't say at the start, but I brought in the 2 Valor stances, and I cut
Yep.
the last Soulfire Grandmaster and the Defiant Strike. Which Defiant Strike would be really good here, but what are you going to do? Alright, so I think that my best bet here is just to draw 3 cards with this Treasure Cruise. Yeah, I think I'm just going to cruise.
Okay.
Trigger.
Yep.
Play a land. And pass.
Alright, draw. I think that makes my line pretty easy. Attack.
Just attack by another Rhino.
Yep.
14.
Alright, I go to 16, you go to 11. Go ahead. There are a number of other things I could do there, but yeah, sometimes you just draw another Rhino, so.
What are you going to do?
Cast it.
Alright, so... So here I think that I just... play a Monastery Mentor.
Okay.
And pass the turn.
I'll attack with both Rhinos.
He probably has a removal spell. Alright, well. We're gonna double block 1.
All right, I'll order this guy first. Monster Mentor first.
I'm gonna stoke here, triggering everything.
Okay.
The other ending something?
Yeah. I'm gonna utter end Seeker of the Way. And then,
Sure, so I'm gonna take 5 total.
yeah, I get to trample over for 1 with this Rhino.
Yeah, so 5 total.
Yeah, so you go to 6. I will then scry. And, that's an interesting one to see. This card's really good. But I don't know if it's what I want to be doing right now. So I'm gonna, maybe against my better judgment, bottom that card. Go ahead.
Alright, so a removal spell for that Sage Rhino would be real nice here. We're gonna cruise.
Okay.
Triggering this.
Yep.
Just the actual worst possible draws. And then I'll pass.
So I don't want to play into a Disdainful Stroke. So I'm going to cast Read the Bones. Is it good?
Yep.
14. And now these are the 2 cards. And I think that I can actually bottom both of these because I have this. So go ahead and bottom them both. And see what we get out of that. Oh, those are much better. Attack.
Well, I honestly don't think I'm beating a second Siege Rhino or a third Siege Rhino at this point, so I'm just going to take the floor and go to 2.
Good go. Go.
And step away, steal on.
Okay.
Alright, so I'm only winning this game if I just hit like Ascendancy into Stoke, into Treasure Cruise. Well, I guess that's the first part of it. Well, third part of it, I guess.
Sure.
Alright. Draw 1, 2. Every cruise has been 2 lands, something else.
It's pretty unreal.
Step. Alright, we're back for the last game. I'll be on the play. And we'll keep this one.
This one's on the slower side, but I'll keep it.
Go.
Go.
Alright, so I'm just going to fetch and play a Seeker here. There's a chance that I might want to play this so I can play this next turn, but I just want to get the pressure in play since I'm on the play.
Alright, well, drawing Thoughtseize was really, really good for us. As we get to maybe interrupt his game plan a bit. I'm just going to take that Jeskai 7C because I cannot beat that card. And then I'm going to hope to be able to beat the other cards. There's no guarantee of that either. And I'll scry. And that's an interesting one. I think that... Well, I think I actually bottom it at this stage in the game because I just am looking for specific cards like Drown in Sorrow, so I'm going to bottom that. Here we go.
Alright, and we're not going to play the race here because we want to be able to use it to save our Seeker if he tries to drown.
Take it. Done?
Yep, go ahead.
Alright. Here, I don't know if I want to actually play this yet because it's just going to die. So I think that I think that I actually want to just cast this and say go.
And step will raise.
Sure.
So here's the problem is that I didn't play the raise when I attacked on 2 to play around Drown in Sorrow, but I feel like these games just get to a point where I can't continue to play around Drown in Sorrow. So I think maybe I should have just raised when I attacked there.
Okay.
Attack. Yep, take 3.
13.
Your turn.
Alright, deck, cough it up. That's not it. See, Drano. 16 to 17. Go.
You should be at 16. 16, 16.
Oh, I missed you.
You really missed my fetch?
Yep.
Okay.
Go. We're not in great shape at this stage of the game. But we have many, many live draws still on top of our deck.
All right. So here I have to figure out what the best line is going to be. I don't think I want to attack with the Rabblemaster yet because it can't get through the Sea Trino. He knows I have this Stoke, so I could just put a token into play and attack with the token, just the tokens. And see what he does. I think if I'm going to attack with just the tokens, I should also send in my Seeker. Like, I'm fine trading the Seeker for the Sea Trino. Although that does just leave me pretty weak to Drown in Sorrow, which I was weak to before anyways, to be fair.
Definitely don't have it already.
Yeah.
Or it would have been...
Well, like I said, I'm already weak to Drown in Sorrow, so we're definitely going to go to combat.
Okay.
And get a token.
Yep. Just imagine if you saw that ascendancy.
Right?
If I didn't thought that ascendancy.
Yeah, with the stoke and the raise the alarm.
Yeah, I'd just be deader than dead.
Ascendancy definitely gets out of hand quick. You have 4 cards?
Yep.
All right. I think that I would just rather... Yeah, we're going to do all of it.
Alright, well, I'm going to block with this.
Now, I can just cast both of these. It gains me 4 life. Kind of want to hold on to the raise the alarm. You know what, actually, I'm just going to raise.
Okay.
And we're going to stoke.
Okay, so you're going to gain 4, and I'm going to
You're gonna
take
take
3.
Yep.
So 13 to 20, and the Seeker is dead.
Yep. And I'll play this and pass.
Alright.
So I feel like this game is turning into a race between Drowned Sorrow and Treasure Cruise. Except I already have an initiative. Although you could just play Elspeth here.
That would be nice, but unfortunately it is.
Another Rhinoceros.
Yep, 16 to 17, go.
Hopefully you don't have a Bile Blight for my Rabble Master. Alright, well, I'll just go to combat.
Okay.
Triggers.
Alright, well I have to just do this here. I have to get Rebel off the table. So
Alright, so we're taking...
I take 6 down to 10.
Go.
Alright, deck. It's not the worst I've ever seen, but it's not great either.
Read the bones?
Alright,
Oh no.
Courser.
Alright. Let's not read the bones.
There's a Bile Blade on
Oh, that's
top.
good.
Go. Alright, one time let me survive. Let me not be dead.
Well, I can cast both of these.
Seems bad for me.
And I guess you just go to 3. Yeah, if your hand just nothing that's relevant. Oh, Outburst. Trigger.
Okay.
Stoke. Trigger. Ship. So 4 forward and these are all 1/1s.
Alright, I'm dead. I needed you to not kill my Courser and this to be a land. Ah, that came into play untapped. 2 Ugins.
Oh man.
Ah,
Ugin just
so
actually
close.
kills everything.
I was so close. Alright, and that is the conclusion of our
Fate Reforged battles.
yes, where we saw a lot of powerful Fate Reforged cards like Siege Rhino.
And Goblin Rabble Master.
Yep. Really
Jeskai Ascendancy.
yeah, those are some
And Thoughtseize.
Yeah. Alright, so maybe a lot of the older cards were more powerful, at least in terms of this video, but You know, it's only 5 games. It doesn't really tell the whole story. And I thought that Monastery Mentor was definitely scary every time you played it. It didn't end up winning, but like if you had drawn a Mentor instead of a Rabble Master that last game, it would have been probably better or just as good.
Yeah.
I mean, Rabble Master was great, but Monastery Mentor would have done just as much work, I think.
More than likely.
Yeah, so Ugin, unfortunately, I never got to cast. I was able to cast it a few games where I was really far ahead, and I had it a few times where I was maybe needed like 1 or 2 more turns to get to it, and maybe that is a problem for this deck. Maybe this deck just can't cast Ugin on time. It's definitely borderline, I think, but...
It's definitely scary. I mean, when I was going through, I obviously didn't say it because I wasn't thinking that deep at the time, but like the decision to not play around Drown in Sorrow in that last game has a lot to do with the fact that you can just actually never beat an Ugin.
Yep.
So like you just have to try and kill them as fast as possible. So like the idea that the card is looming is very scary.
Yeah, and that last game I was like, all right, you know, if I had found a land instead of a Bile Blade on top of my deck, you know, I would have Ugin'd at 1 life, and who knows, maybe take over the game from there. Like, you know, I mean, I'm still dead to a burn spell, but...
You got a Ugin in play.
Yeah, I got a Ugin in play, so... I don't know, I think the card is pretty sweet, and I'm really interested to see like what the best shell for it is. I also think the Mentor is really good, and I don't know if that's the best shell for it. You know, Chris and I mentioned that maybe between games, but that the Ascendancy combo deck,
the actual combo deck,
might be a really good shell for Monastery Mentor.
I think it gives it a good plan B, where you have like these Springleaf Drums and Dragon Mantles that are all just, you know, kind of doing their own thing until you can assemble the combo. But if you have Monastery Mentor, it just creates an army.
Yeah, like earlier this week I played a deck against Todd that was an Ascendancy deck with Meletus Astronomer and things. And one of the ways that I was able to beat him in one of those games was with an Ascendancy in play, using Retraction Helix and Dragon Mantle. I was able to loop Dragon Mantle on a Crone Crusader to make a infinite amount of tokens that grew larger and larger every time. And you can kind of do the same thing with that guy too.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty sweet. And if you bestow Nyxborn Rollicker on it, you get a 1/1 prowess, and it becomes a 3/3.
Yeah.
And then a 4/4.
Yeah. So it's actually there's a lot of cool things you can do with the card. I'm excited for it in Modern actually as well, and Legacy.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it with the 1-mana cantrip spells. So like we saw, like Young Pyromancer did some things in Standard with like Shock and Stoke the Flames and stuff, but it didn't really get just absurdly broken until you put it alongside cards like Ataxium Probe, Ponder, Brainstorm, Serum Visions, like those kinds of cards. Because not only are they triggering your creature, but it's digging you towards more spells to trigger the creature. And so just having another Young Pyromancer with the Monastery Mentor seems like it could be really good.
Yeah, I think so. Like, it really pushes, like, because a lot of times some of the things with the Young Pyromancer decks is, like, some of the other creatures you want to play don't necessarily synergize as well with it. You just want to play them because they're great creatures, but here's, like, a great creature that also has a synergy with it. Mm-hmm. And, like, it really just, like, overloads your deck on that one thing that is really powerful.
The other sweet thing about it is because it's triggering on non-creature spells, there might actually be a place in Vintage for the card. Young Pyromancer is like the best creature in Vintage currently, just because of the way the format's set up. Games are pretty grindy, outside of killing you on turn 1 with a combo. But the jump from 2 to 3 mana might be too much, but just the fact that it triggers off of all of your Moxen is pretty sweet. I can imagine turns where you're just like Mentor, play a bunch of Moxen, get a bunch of guys, and then on your next turn you just like Hurkyl's Recall yourself, replay them all, and then kill them with all your tokens. So it might actually be playable in Vintage, which is really sweet. Yeah,
that's actually really cool too. It also triggers off of Jace and like all kinds of other non-creature permanents that Vintage actually has a lot of those cards because, well, there's a lot of busted artifacts. So
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's a pretty deep card if you're thinking it might be playable in Vintage.
Yeah, definitely. And then Ugin actually I think is playable in Modern too, in Modern Tron, where I don't think it's better than Karn because Karn costs exactly the same amount of mana that Tron generates, and it really is. Yeah. It's hard to do better than that. And Ugin costs 1 more, so it's a little awkward there. But Ugin's effect is just more powerful than Karn.
And it also costs the exact same that it takes to cast an Oblivion Stone and then use it.
Yes.
So that might actually be relevant too.
Yes. One difference is that you can use Oblivion Stone better under Blood Moon, but yeah, the ability to, I mean, you don't always have natural Tron with that deck. Sometimes you're like, turn 1, forest, expedition map.
Or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes, like, when you hit Tron, you actually have 8 mana and things like that. So I think Ugin could see some play in Modern as well. Crux of Fate is probably just, another end hostilities for Standard, but...
It'll see play.
Yep.
In the hands of Sheen Serrani. It'll see a lot of play.
Yes, it will. I expect Shaheen to do a lot of end-step meditation puzzle, untap Crux of Fate.
I'll choose non-dragons.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Monastery Mentor is awesome. So far, Grandmaster was underwhelming, which I think is the theme that you're going to see with that card with the way Standard is set up right now.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of removal. There's a lot of just amazing creatures, and people are playing efficient removal for it. So there's going to be... I mean, I just don't think that it's going to do very much, especially since it doesn't attack through Courser and Caryatid.
Yeah, like I personally think Seeker of the Way is actually just better because it can still attack through stuff.
Yep.
Unlike Soulfire, which doesn't have prowess. If he had prowess, it'd be a different matter.
Oh, actually, I was thinking earlier, and I didn't mention it, but another deck that might use Monastery Mentor is Blue-White Heroic, like just as a plan B, because it triggers off of all of your auras.
Oh, yeah. I
Which
think
is pretty sweet.
That's actually really, really good because it gives the deck the ability to go wide, where right now it can only go big.
Yep.
But being able to go wide is actually really good against a lot of strategies, too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, yeah, I think it actually fits in that deck really well, along with the Valorous card, too.
Yeah, Valorous Stance. We didn't draw it. It would have been real good.
It would have killed some rhinos, so...
So thank everybody for stopping by this week and watching us battle with brand new cards. They weren't as flashy as I would have liked them to be, but hey, we're less than half the set spoiled at this point. But now what we need is people to let us know what they want to see. So
Yeah.
make sure you leave us in the comments cards that you want to see or any deck ideas that you have, because by the time you watch this, there will be a bunch more cards than when we actually filmed it. So we are definitely looking for more ideas for next week, because we will be back in here doing more standard decks with Fate Reforged cards.
Yep.
So for those of you who aren't watching on StarCityGames.com, make sure you click one of the little scrolling panels below to see some other copies, some other BBD versus CVM videos
See
as well.
all 4 main deck copies of BBD versus CVM.
All 4 main deck Siege Rhinos.
Yeah.
Make sure you like and subscribe, as well as, like I said, let us know what you want to see in the comments. We do read through them, especially when we get to spoiler season. We make sure that we scour through all of the comments to find some sweet ideas so we can bring them in here in battle.
I mean, I'm actually illiterate, but some of my friends will read them for me.
Microsoft Sam.
Yeah, my computer tells it to me, so yeah.
So thanks for hanging out this week, guys. We'll see you next week.
So, yeah.
Microsoft Sam.
Yeah, that's
Wayback Machine.